Amanla Aweto. Amanla Aweto. Power to the people. This message is for my brothers and sisters from South Africa. And I'm sharing these few words with you with a deep sorrow. Just with all we have been through with apartheid and all the evil deeds that have happened to our people, we never expected that our South African brothers and sisters could indulge in such behavior when it comes to interacting and dealing with their own brothers and sisters. Same colors. Because after all, we're all human beings. But starting from our people on the continent with whom we share the same colors, we never expected these to be the South African behavior when it comes to interacting with our people after all we've been through together. Because remember well what happened with Steve Biko. We still remember. We still have reminiscence for that. We still remember. Remember what happened to Madiba, Nelson Mandela, and what happened to the unspoken of, those who nobody would name in the media, and not to talk about the Western media, not even the mainstream media. So brothers and sisters, this is a call upon you to redeem from your doing right now and honor the memory of Madiba Nelson Mandela, and honor the memory of Steve Biko, and honor the memory of those who have fought for equal rights and justice in South Africa, among all brothers and sisters, white, black, and others, as different colors and one people. Because you have to remember one thing. When Madiba, Nelson Mandela, Steve Biko, and so on, Willie Mandela, all these people, and the unspoken of, all these people were fighting and laying their lives for a brighter future for all our brothers and sisters in South Africa and all over Africa. It was not just for South African brothers and sisters. That was just for all Africans. That was for all human beings, for all humanity. But above all, it was a battle against what's not right. It was a battle for equal rights and justice in South Africa. So as with our white and other brothers and sisters, we can get together and come up with a better future. So if we get to the age today in 2019, talking about September 12, 2019, and so on, and we see South Africa indulging in such behavior, we feel bad, we feel deep sorrow. Personally, myself, Papa Latyr FAYE, General Coordinator of MJPV, Mouvement pour la Justice, le Patriotisme et la Vérité, literally the Movement for Justice, Patriotism and Truth in Senegal, a national movement by the Pan-Africanist movement. We all fight and stand for the unity of the continent. And we have reference people like Cheikh Anta Diop, Professor Cheikh Anta Diop, Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, all the freedom fighters, the Pan-Africanist fighters, the founding fathers. So I have the founding fathers of Pan-Africanism that we call upon, like Nelson Mandela and Steve Biko and so on. The list is very long. Gamal Nasser, Patrice Lumumba, and so on. So if today Nelson Mandela could just hear that this is what is happening in South Africa, or just could just have a glance and just look at South Africa and what is happening. He may be questioning the reason why he spent 27 years in jail. Steve Biko would be just still wondering why he was murdered. He accepted to go through all of that to get his people together and his people empowered as African, proud to be living in full harmony with all brothers and sisters on the continent and from the continent, and all other brothers and sisters from worldwide, different colors with people. So brothers and sisters from South Africa, we're calling upon you, and calling upon brothers from South Africa also. I personally am calling upon my brothers and sisters from Nigeria, from all over Africa, just to understand, two wrongs don't make a right. So don't retaliate to evil by evil. Treat our brothers and sisters with respect and love. And let's just pray together and chase the devil away. Because this is just a test that's just showing us today the necessity for us Africans to get together and work together in common in all our countries and work towards a federal government, work towards a federal Africa, the United States of Africa. Or at least have like, why not a better union and live together as brothers and sisters, so as people can travel all over the continent and have investment all over the continent, across the continent, as we have in Sunugal Sunureo, in PRONACHRS, le Programme National de Gestion Équitable des Ressources du Sénégal, which is literally a national program for fair management of resources in Senegal, which we're working on right now. Myself, Papa Latyr FAYE, with Sunugal Sunureo, which is our coalition, Sunugal Sunureo. That's our program. That's the program in which we're calling all Senegalese to join us, so as we can work hand in hand and find a solution to our common challenge, and then get investment not only in the continent, talking about all other sectors, but also all across the continent, because we got to be thinking about getting this continent united and hand it to our kids. We should be thinking about it. That should be our political understanding of the current situation. Well, this is a sense of urgency that Africa has to get together. And this is a call upon all leaders, our brothers and sisters leading the continent, all over the continent. I, Papa Latyr FAYE, I'm calling upon all of them to get together and get to a meeting all together and find a solution to this common crisis that is happening all over, and that is also pushing our people to move and go beyond borders and wander all over around the world, which is sometimes necessary to learn and experience life. But a continent as rich as Africa, with all the natural resources that we have, the minerals and so on, a continent like that shouldn't have his kids all over around the world running around and so on, and desperately running around. This shouldn't be possible. So that calls for an urgency to put together programs that's gonna unite us economically, but also on a political level, so as we can get a common ground and talk about like the most crucial issues. Because today, if Africa, according to certain people, is considered or viewed in a certain position, we have a great role to play into that. We gotta accept that we have a great role to play into that. Because if we acting like we acting right now in South Africa, and I'm calling once again upon my brothers and sisters in South Africa, if we're acting like that, how else? Technically, that would be literally trying to justify the unjustifiable, which means apartheid. So, once victim of apartheid, and today, definitely we don't want to be practicing apartheid, especially against our own people. That shouldn't happen against anybody, especially coming from us, the master DNA, coming from us, black people and African people. It should not come from us. Black, white, and all the colors. We all different colors, one people. So if we working together, we should work together first by serving and having at our own goal, having a common goal of serving our people and getting our people to get together and create a bigger, a big, how to call it again, a bigger force, if you could call it like that. Not a force in terms of fighting, but in terms of negotiating, in terms of economic weight when it comes to it, and also the power of negotiation. Because today we came from, we've been through the same schools and universities worldwide. So today, brothers and sisters from all over the continent, from mainly from South Africa, I feel really sad, a little bit sorrow, but also I look at the future and I have hope. That hope is coming. Of course, today, also to tackle that issue, it wouldn't be just putting the blame on our brothers and sisters in South Africa. They are really blamable when it comes to it. But also, we gotta know when it comes to the political leadership all over Africa, that's the political leadership that is really challenged right now, that has in front questions that are still waiting for answers. If you take the example of South Africa, 90% of the economy is not within 90% of the population. It's not within 90% of the population, but concentrated amongst 5 to 10% of the people. So, and that still, beside the political appetite that ended, there's still some economical appetite that need to end. And for that, we call all brothers and sisters from all colors, from all ends, to get together and work upon a program. And when it comes to South Africa, and we were hoping, we were still having hope on ANC, the ANC, we were still having hope on them, you know what I mean? Hoping like today, as we say in French, l'ANC, you know what I mean? We're still having hope on them, that they will be just providing a solution to this issue. Because if the youth is today desperate, South Africans right now are suffocating, it has a lot to do with an integrated, the lack of an integrated system, economic and political system that can literally promise or give a better future to South African living in South Africa also. So we're calling upon our brothers and sisters in South Africa and telling them not to loot, not to do none of that. And also calling upon our brothers from Nigeria, from all over neighboring countries, and me, of course, being from Senegal, calling upon my brothers and sisters from Senegal. Thank God we haven't had any report when it comes to Senegalese being involved in that conflict right now. But as long as we involve as African, we all involve, so we get to work together and find a solution to that. So to the leaders of South Africa, try as fast as possible to find a solution to this crisis that would be like providing jobs and equal opportunity to the youth on the continent, but mainly the youth in South Africa, from South African, so as all the resources South Africa can serve also the South Africans, and serve all the Africans, and serve also the human family, as we all humans, different colors, one people. Talking to my brothers and sisters, fellow brothers and sisters from South Africa, I'm just calling upon them to cease all types, all form of violence, because that's definitely not honoring Madiba Nelson Mandela, who is today regarded as one of the symbols, one of the icons of peace building in the world, especially going through a big crime like against humanity, like apartheid, which comes after the biggest crime against humanity that happened to us, which is slavery. But today, for us to be on the right side and talk to the world, we're not trying to be remorseful about anything, or crying about anything, or having anything against anybody, but we still have to remember what we've been through, so as we can think of a better future. And for a better future also, we should think of also living together as different colors and one people in South Africa and all over the world. That should be the case. But mainly in South Africa, we're calling upon our brothers and sisters to stop the xenophobia and all of that, and know like we all human beings, not to talk about us on the continent as brothers and sisters, as we should expect to be treated as such. So brothers and sisters, this message, brothers and sisters on the continent, all over in the diaspora and all over worldwide, Africans, brothers, I'm calling upon you. My name is Papa Latyr FAYE. I'm the General Coordinator, MJPV, Mouvement pour la Justice, le Patriotisme et la Vérité, which is a national movement in Senegal, but also a Pan-Africanist movement registered all over Africa, literally, from Yaoundé, Cameroon, and so on, all over Africa. Just to call upon you and tell you, brothers and sisters, this is time for us to get together and find a solution to our common challenge. And we're calling upon you. And the first asset that we have when it comes to this is building peace, honor, and respect, and love for each other. That's the first asset that we have. That's the first asset we have. So let's get together and unite. Let's get together and stand together and stop the fight. Let's stop the fight all over, from the ghettos, from the hoods, from the villages, from the cities. Let's stop the fight right now. Let's stop fighting. Let's get together and face the struggle and find a better solution for our people, but for all people of different colors, because different colors want people. So brothers, South African brothers, African brothers worldwide, human family, I'm just calling upon you right now, especially when it comes to my brothers and sisters in South Africa. I'm calling upon you to cease all forms of violence. Stop xenophobia. Stop xenophobia. Stop xenophobia. Stop all forms of violence. Embrace each other as brothers and sisters. Let's work together and find a common solution. And for that, I'm calling upon all African leaders to get together with all leaders from South Africa through the African Union and get together and build a true African Union in which we're going to tackle the real issue of the continent. So as all the natural resources and the resources on the continent can come back and serve the people on the continent, serve first our African brothers and sisters, then serve all people, because all colors, because we all people, different colors, one people. So brothers and sisters, this is what I have to share with you today. I'm probably hot right now, burning, sweating, and all of that, because this situation whatsoever was happening, and we really have the courage today to call it in the past right now. Not really what is happening, but what was happening, we think should never happen again. So now xenophobia in South Africa, no xenophobia wherever it may be wherever it may be, we say no, but especially on the continent, especially